the big deal? Cue the band.
It's a brand new season, but the same old love affair. You know why these guys are special? They have big hearts and a whole lot of horsepower, brave souls, and the will to win. Year after year, they remain our heroes because just like us, they live for the sound of thunder. We are live from Ventura, California, beautiful Ventura by the sea on a cool and breezy, make that downright windy Saturday night. But if it was 9 below zero, I'd tell you this is a perfect night for racing. That's how eager we are to be back with you here on Saturday Night Thunder. Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Despain. We're here to kick off our 9th season of USAC Midget and Sprint Racing on ESPN, and we'll do so with 3 consecutive weeks of Western States Midget competition from here in the dirt. Kenny Irwin says, so what's the big deal with dirt? I want to tell you about this particular dirt. The dirt here at Ventura County Fairgrounds Raceway used to be the parking lot. Yeah, I know. That needs a little explanation. Jim Naylor is the promoter here. For the last half dozen years or so, he's been collecting clay from construction sites all over Southern California and laying it on the parking lot. Well, this off-season, he hauled all that dirt, something like 32,000 cubic yards of the stuff in here, and he's piled it up here, turning this little flat bull ring into a high bank racetrack that he promises will have even better action than we've seen in the past 3 years here. I don't know how that's possible, but I'll tell you this. The guys who are going to call that action are going to keep you on the edge of their seats. It's time to meet them now. They are, of course, the 3-time USAC national champion, Larry Rice, and our favorite play-by-play man, Gary Lee. I've been waiting for this moment since August of last year for the first time in 1994. It's the Gary and Larry Show.
Thanks, Dave. Hi, everybody. It's great to be back in Southern California to kick off a brand new racing season. And Rice-A-Roni, what will this new banking do for our competition?
Well, with all this wind, I'm not too sure, but if it's a normal Jim Naylor racetrack, it's going to add a lot of excitement, and it's going to be faster. The drivers are going to run around the top on the cushion, get more straightaway speed, and really make this exciting. They're going to have a groove at the bottom, and they're probably going to have a couple in the middle. That's going to make it awfully narrow getting down the straightaway.
Well, now, this is open cockpit, open wheel racing, but there's a definite NASCAR influx out here.
That's right. Paige Jones has a Robert Yates Ford head on his Midget, the first one that's been used. He's won 4 races with it already, 2 right here at Ventura. It's that influence from NASCAR is coming back into the midgets, and of course some of our drivers are going to NASCAR too.
We have a different format this evening. Actually, this is the 4th race in the Western States schedule, but we didn't qualify. We've actually seeded 9 drivers into the feature already. They're the top 3 finishers from the last 3 races. They'll have their own heat race. We'll call that an all-star race. They've had a draw for starting positions. However, how they finish is how they'll start the feature. The winner starts from the pole.
That's right, and 3 of the guys who are going to be the stars out here on our show were stars down under this last winter. The guys, as they're upside down, as you can see, down in New Zealand, Sleepy Tripp, Jimmy Sills, and Robby Flock all went down there. They honed their skills all winter long. They were stars down there, and I think they're going to be the stars up here, too.
Well, now you talk about Robby Flock. He's a defending champion out here. However, he has not seated himself in the feature. He's had some mechanical problems earlier this year. The best he can start tonight is 10th. But these guys, along with names like Paige Jones and Wally Pancratz, are the guys you expect to see in victory lane. But, Dave, we've had some surprises this year.
And I think the biggest surprise of all, Gary, has to be Tony Stewart. Yeah, you Thunderheads, you Saturday night regulars know this kid on the pavement back in the Midwest. He's come out here to the West Coast, he's won a race, and he leads the championship points. And I'll tell you, the one name on everybody's lips when we come here for the first time of the season, at least thus far, has been Tony Stewart. He's the guy they're all gunning for, the guy they're trying to beat. I guarantee you it's going to be an action-packed evening of competition. We are ready to let the thunder roll here on Saturday night. We'll take a quick break and come back with our all-star heat.
G's hurts. When the car fires up, it's power. It's Nobody's talking to me. All I hear is music. And you hit the throttle. It pulls your head back and it wants to rip it off. It's you and the competition, and everything has to be just right. Pure oil now. Man, from that time on, all you can think about is winning. Pure oil leader. Man, that's a ride. Legends live. Pure leader.
It's a cover. Oh, thank you, man.
No.
No, but... I don't...
Coast, the eye-opener. What more can we say?
My feet are so sweaty and smelly. My wife calls me swamp foot.
Odor Eater's foot powder can dry up 25 times more wetness than talc.
Wow. No more swamp foot.
Odor Eater's foot powder dries up 25 times more wetness than talc.
I'd like to make a simple point about a gasoline additive called ProGuard. ProGuard's patented take-on chemistry begins cleaning deposits not only from fuel injectors, but throughout your engine's intake system for a noticeably smoother performance.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram ExtraGuard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram ExtraGuard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
This Speed World presentation of Saturday Night Thunder is brought to you by Purolator. Legends live on Purolator. By Coast Deodorant Soap. That crisp, invigorating scent makes Coast the eye-opener. And by Allied Signals Auto Light Spark Plugs. Guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go. The cars are on the racetrack, and there is Tony Stewart. They are warming up for this special heat race that takes the top 3 finishers from each of the previous races thus far this season. And Stewart is going to have to start out back. They drew for starting position, and as I understand it, Stewart has just drawn the 9th spot. He's got to pass the field. That will be fun to watch. Now, again, remember, these guys were the top stars so far coming in. No qualifying here. It's 5:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast. We're going to jump in and go directly to competition. The top 3 from this race will be moving up, and here are the guys that are going to be after it. Boat and Ito, Cofer, Jones, Drake, Sills, Hendricks, Stewart, and he's got company in the back there with Sleepy Trip. Let's take just about a minute and 15 seconds here to give you a quick recap of what's happened coming into this race tonight. I want to go back and review how we got to the point we are now. Last year, Robby took his 3rd Western States Midget title, denying Sleepy Trip a remarkable 8th crown. The veteran Wally Pankratz was 3rd over the rookie Jay Drake, who took 4th. We go on to the 94 season. The Phoenix International Raceway Copper World Classic kicked things off. Chuck Gurney, winner here 2 years ago in that black silver crown car, came back in the Midget to win his 2nd Copper World. Then on the dirt at Oildale, Paige Jones hit Ricky Gray. Robby got caught up in it. Tempers flared a scrap after the race, and Jones went on to win the thing with a terrific inside last lap pass on Billy Boat. Hanford, California, less exciting by comparison. Tony Stewart in a runaway in Larry Brown's white 36. Then here at Ventura last Saturday night, the 2 previous dirt winners met. Page held off Tony for his 2nd win of the year. But in the point standings, consistency is the key. Despite that Page Jones victory, Stewart is your point leader by 10 over Page, with Jay Drake 3rd and Jimmy Sills 4th. That was then. This is now. We're back at Ventura for our TV opener. And so we have the best 9 guys thus far this year out there ready to do battle for 8 laps, hoping to get in the feature. Let's go topside for the call to Kerry and Larry.
Buckle up, Larry. It's time to go racing once again. By the draw, John Kofer will start up in front, car 57. There's a look at Jay Drake in the number 5 car. He won on television here at Ventura last year, and the beautiful Mustang convertible out in front.
That's right. It's driven by John Robertson, who was a 1993 USAC most improved driver out here, and he's driving that Terry Kay's Mustang, the same thing that's going to pace the Indianapolis 500, of course.
So John Kofer alongside Billy Boat in the front row, Jay Drake, Paige Jones the second row. Green flag is out, the all-star heat. These top 9 drivers are already seated. They're racing for their starting position in the feature. And down the backstretch, Kofer has the lead. Paige Jones up to second. He cocks it into the third corner. Paige looks to the low side.
Yeah, Paige Jones got into second place. Kofer and Billy Boat got together on that start. Billy Boat got way back in the back because of that, and he's going to have to battle his way back up through the pack now.
Well, we know that this track will likely dry out this evening. We had rain this morning, but it's been windy and sunny all day. This track is going to be rough and very dry.
Look at Tony Stewart in that white car, way up around the top, way up the top bottom of everybody. Now that he's right down underneath Sleepy Trip, slides up in front of him.
They make contact.
That's right, actually bang wheels a little bit. Sleepy wasn't expecting to come up there and then slide back down on it.
As you say, he's working up on the high side, getting a great shot down this short straightaway. He's up to third right now. Kofer has a problem. Kofer drops back. Tony Stewart goes to third, or second, that is, and closes in now on Paige Jones down the backstretch. Again, this is for the starting position in the feature. This is only an 8-lap heat race, but the winner starts at the pole. We have a yellow flag. A car stopped down in the first turn. That is John Kofer in the blue number 57. He led early. We saw something happen to the car the last lap. He slowed down, coasted to a stop.
Obviously, there's a mechanical problem. He lost power of some sort. He stopped down there. The real story here, though, is Tony Stewart in 4 laps has come from dead last to second place. Man, is he on the move.
Well, he's a good race car, and he's very, very aggressive. And I know we both have high regard for this man because he drives so well with his foot, but also his brain. But watch the start of this race.
Well, as they come off the corner here, you're going to see Kofer and Boat right side by side. Kofer gets a little bit sideways. He tucks his right rear into the left front of Billy Boat. Boat almost loses the race car, kept it under control, did a good job there. But look, he lost 4 or 5 spots doing that, and it's tough to make up those 5 positions in a race like this.
We have been showing the furled flag. 1 more lap before we turn them loose. 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. Paige Jones out in front, car number 71. In the second position, there is Tony Stewart, and there is Sleepy Trip, 7-time Western States champion, rides in 3rd position, looking for his first feature win on television here at Ventura. 4 laps to go, and there's the battle up in front. Down the backstretch, Paige Jones, the black number 71. A good battle. Looks like it could be shaping up for second.
Yes, and everybody's running on that cushion. They're running up on that top group. Look how high they get into the corner, trying to get that big slingshot down off the corner, down that straightaway. But Stewart right here is going to try underneath. Let's see if he can make it last. No, can't pull it off.
Well, he's been able to catch up to Paige. Let's see if he can pass him.
Well, you know, it's tougher to pass a guy than it is to catch him. You've got to find a different group. If Paige is running in the fastest spot, then he's going to run somewhere else.
1 lap to go. There is the white flag. Tripp is 3rd. Drake is 4th. Down the backstretch into 3. It looks like Paige may be able to hang on. 1 last shot on the inside, and Paige wins this all-star heat. And he will start from the pole position, but starting outside the front row will be Tony Stewart. Tony leads the point standings by 10 over Paige, so the cream rises to the top.
Well, I think Tony Stewart and Sleepy Trip are both going to be very happy that they did that well in that race, because starting that feature up front is a big, big advantage, and I think they're both going to be happy. They wanted to win, but just to start up front is going to be a big advantage for them.
So once again, the format tonight as we look at Paige Jones, the winner in his All-American Racing entry. Now here is a good battle for 3rd position down the backstretch.
That's Billy Boat and George Ito. They're battling each other. Ito's tried to stick it underneath him, just couldn't quite get it done. There he goes in high. He's going to try up high. No, he can't make it go.
So once again, there is a good look at Paige Jones, who wins the first of 4 heat races this evening. We also have a semi and a 30-lap main event as the Thunder gets started for 1994 from California.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
My Sports Center highlight goes like this. He hits a monster slap shot, but I catch it behind my back, Frisbee style. And everyone's so stunned, I start skating. My coach is yelling, go. Bob leaves giving me directions, but I'm the amazing skating goalie. And I score the winning goal. Wow. Which gets me a dance with Ty Babylonia. Yeah, that's my Sports Center highlight.
The first heat, the all-star heat, if you will, is history. And this is important because this is the way all 9 of these drivers will line up for the feature. The best that the rest of the guys out of the rest of the heats can do is 10 starting spots. So I guess it's time to talk to this guy. 21 years old. He's won 18 of these things already. Paige Jones, congratulations. Good run.
Thank you. You know, the American racing car just run great. And, you know, we got this new Ford engine in here, the Vesco build. It's just running great.
You've won 18 and you're 21, and what'd you just tell me your goal was here for this year?
Well, hopefully by the end of the ESPN races, we can bump it up for one for every year for me.
Let me ask you about that race. Stewart came from the back. You were up in front already. Did you know it was Tony Stewart that had caught you?
Yeah, I knew it was Tony because I saw him on the yellow. I knew he had to be running good. But we weren't as good as we could have been there. We need to go forward a little bit better, so we got our work cut out for us.
They're not out here for the second one yet. Let me ask you another question. Is there a rivalry between you guys? The battle of the young guns here? You know, Paige from the West Coast and Tony from back East? Little competition there?
A little bit. A lot of things in conflict. You know, Tony and I are friends off the track, but rivals on the racetrack. Larry Howard's working over there on that car this year. He was running my car last year. And, you know, so we got a little bit of rivalry between the two of us, but you know, fortunately, we've been on top so far, and hopefully we can keep it that way.
All right, good job, kid. Congratulations to you. Enough of this talking. Let's take a quick break. Come on back with the second of our qualifying heat races for tonight's kickoff of USAC Midget Racing on Saturday Night Thunder.
This could be your arm. This could be your chest. These could be your shoulders. This could be your thigh. This could be your stomach. This could be your back. This could be your body. This could be the way. The Soloflex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure.
What began on a beach in Daytona more than 50 years ago has become America's most popular spectator sport. NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. Now see how it all got started in this thrilling home video. From Thunder Road to Victory Lane, the NASCAR story is the first of a 4-volume set and a must for every fan. To order, call 1-800-764-5441 or send $19.98 plus $4 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen. Visa and MasterCard accepted.
New times for Sports Center, 6:30 and 11 p.m. starting Monday.
Saturday night is for the sound of thunder. Sunday night is for baseball. Tomorrow night it's the Marlins versus the Padres. Sheffield versus Quinn here on ESPN. Check it out, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to go racing with Stan Fox this time. He's got the onboard camera for the second of our qualifying heat races. Hey, don't think because none of these guys have been top 3 so far this year that you don't have some heavy hitters in there. Stanley will do some business for you. And to tell you all about it, here's Gary and Larry.
Yeah, and a couple of Saturday midnight flyers on this flight, and we'll explain that momentarily because of the racing schedule. Once again, heat race number 2 up in front, 21-year-old Marc DeBeaumont in car number 11, starting outside Dwayne Markham in 49. In the second row on the inside, car number 7R, that's Jack Runyon out of Carmel, Indiana. Stan Fox outside him. Kenny Irwin and Wally Pancratz, the 48-year-old veteran, outside the third row. And Pete Chula and Ross Murray occupy row number 4. Now, once again, 8 laps. The top 3 will transfer. We'll have 4 heat races today, and then we'll have a semi, and we'll take 2 from the semi as we look out the back of Stan Fox's car. Thanks to CarQuest, once again, we'll have some great onboard camera shots this season, and Stanley really is a surprise to be in the cockpit of a Midget this evening.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be here. He's the only Indy car driver that still runs the dirt. I'd love to see him come and do this, but it's kind of a surprise.
He has a good IndyCar ride for this season. We'll talk about that a bit later. As, a couple of cars get together as DeBeaumont actually hit a rut coming off the corner. And look at Stanley all the way up to second, third position, makes a move on the inside, trying to overhaul second. Markham is second. Now Stan takes. Oh, Stanley upside down, gets on top of Markham. Stan Fox, we were talking about unexpectedly as it was that Stan shows up to drive. He has the ride with the Hemmelgarn car for the Indianapolis 500. That is a new Renard chassis with a Cosworth power plant. That would be the Fault Delta faucet, the Jack's Tool Rental sponsorship. And so we really didn't expect to see him because they don't like to see an Indy driver take a chance just like this to be in a wreck. And we're still getting pictures.
We're still getting pictures. Good in-car cameras, guys. They're still working after all that. Stanley's he's shaking his head a little bit, but look at this from his perspective. He went in there, he just kind of caught a rut. He's down there low, trying to get underneath these guys. He catches a little bit of a rut. I think right in here somewhere. He's got to catch it pretty soon. That sun's right in our eyes. Right. Oh, this is coming off before.
Turn 4 now down the straightaway.
The sun was in my eyes. I couldn't see it either. But he comes off a turn 4. He gets down in low, but underneath the 11 car. Catches a rut right there. There he goes. Up on his nose. Bang. Down on his top.
That's where you close your eyes and duck your head.
Here we can see it a little better. He's going down in underneath. He catches that rut with the right rear right there. Dug in. Got up. Right on did a nosedive right there. Tore the nose off the car. Down on the back. Right here. Comes down on the back. Goes on over. Lands right on top of the 49 car, actually. And down on the nose again. Lands on his wheels.
Well, already Stan is out of the cockpit. He's okay, and he's standing by with Dave.
Well, man, you made the highlight reel. What happened?
I just screwed up. Hit a rut and tipped her over. I think we're a little too tight.
No chance to get it adjusted. That's it, eh?
It's just one of them deals, you know. I haven't run dirt for a while, and it's my fault. I just got it in and hit it rut sideways. Should have hit it straight.
One quick one before they go racing again, given what just happened to you. How do you like the new surface and the banking out here?
You know, I love this racetrack. I didn't like it very much before, but since they rebuilt it, it's a good racy little racetrack, and it's got a couple grooves in it. It makes for good racing. Just when you do dumb things like that, you tip over.
Well, he's kicking himself a little bit. Stan Fox says that's it for tonight. The race car's in pretty good shape, but he's done for the night.
So Stan will be a spectator, and we have 1 lap complete. This is the running order right now. There is Marc leading. Wally Pankratz, the 48-year-old veteran from Orange, California, is second. Jack Runyon, the youngster from Carmel, Indiana, who was runner-up in the Midget Rookie of the Year standings for the National Midgets last year. Kenny Irwin is 4th, and Pete Shula now is 5th. We talk about the Midnight Flyers because both Runyon and Irwin will be taking the Red Eye home tonight to race at Winchester tomorrow in that sprint midget doubleheader. We're back to racing, and a rut developing down in the first corner, so Stan Fox may not be the only guy to get upside down tonight.
Well, that's right. There is kind of a rut developing down there, and that's what happens when you haul new dirt into a racetrack like this. Even though it settles over the winter, it sometimes doesn't stick quite as well, or it gets a little ruttier than it does after it's been there for years and years and years like the dirt had been before.
Kenny Irwin in the wins car, the Dave Calderwood car, is now up to second, dropping Pankratz to third position. DeBeaumont still continues to lead in that blue and red number 11. Down the backstretch in the third corner.
Jack Runyon's having a heck of a time back there in the back. He caught a run a while ago, lost a couple positions, and right there something's wrong with the race car. It doesn't look like it's handling real well. But look at Kenny Irwin.
Well, we could have a good battle right here in the third corner for the lead. Irwin in second position, took a look on the inside. 5 laps complete, 3 laps to go. Irwin stays down low and almost gets in to the number 11 car.
Well, they're trying to run high and they're trying to run low, and almost every place they're running, getting into one, it seems to be just a little bit rough. Doesn't matter whether you're running up the top, right there, Kenny Irwin is a little bit bumpy on the bottom, too. So
the winner of this race will start in the 10th position for the feature. And it looks like the white flag is out. 1 lap to go, side by side down the front stretch, and Irwin on the inside may have him. Oh, he gets tapped from behind, almost spins out, and pulls back on the track right in front of Pankratz. But the victory will go to Marc DeBeaumont And second place, Irwin hangs on. Third place will go to Wally Pankratz. So those three will transfer to the main event, and the others will have to go through the 10-lap semi. This track is really rough out there.
Yeah, when Irwin got all sideways over there, he almost lost power. Your engine gets loaded up when you get out of the throttle like that, and he was lucky to keep the fire going and keep going and finish in second position. It'd been real easy to drop 3 or 4 spots right there.
Well, we talk about the young lions out here. Here's a 21-year-old that has been racing midgets now for, this is his 3rd season. Murray had some difficulty earlier too. The second car, number 55.
That's Ross Murray. You see, he got all sideways, get a big jump. That big berm down there in the bottom's a lot bigger now than it used to be. Then he comes right back out in front of Jack Runyon. Look out.
Now watch this. This is the pass for the lead. And for just a moment, Irwin had the lead on the low side, but he slides up.
He caught a rut, Gary, went right up in front of Marc DeBeaumont. He had nothing to do but hit him. I mean, it wasn't his fault at all, and it's lucky he kept the car running, Irwin was.
And we'll be back to Victory Lane to talk with Mark as our Thunder continues from Ventura County Fairgrounds in Ventura, California, as the Thunder resumes for 94.
It still bugs me that I waited to try Old Spice High Endurance just because I thought all deodorants worked the same. Dumb. This proves it's the best. Better than the leading stick. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer. Protects better. You can't ignore that. Or this guarantee. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of yours. You gotta figure anyone that serious about deodorant deserves a serious shot. Come on, take the High Endurance Challenge from Old Spice. I did.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank.
Okay. Jeff, get us suitcases. I have one.
Yes, sir, right away. Robert, we're out.
Get us suitcases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
That was quick.
Yeah, they had it right down the street.
The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
Buy a case of Haviland, get a free camera, and a chance for a free trip on Continental Airlines.
When 280 seemed out of reach, it's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the Record Breakers. Wow, I feel good. We feel pretty good about that.
The second heat race was a thriller, and Marc DeBeaumont has won it from Kenny Irwin, Pankratz, Ciula, and Runyon, rounding out the top 5. We talk at the top of every show about our fondness for the local heroes, and every year there's a new guy coming up to be the hero. Let's meet Marc DeBeaumont. First of all, congratulations. Terrific run.
Thank you very much. Had a vibration all through the heat. Hit the cushion my very first lap, and it got a bunch of mud in the wheel and gave me a big vibration. But I just want to thank Copenhagen and Skull for supporting the series, and all my pit crew at home, Alan, Tim, Don. I just want to say thank you very much.
We had to calm this guy down. He's a former BCRA Rookie of the Year, but this is your first USAC heat race victory. And, man, you got it the hard way. Kenny Irwin made a run at you. Tell me about that.
Yeah, he sure did. He put it in pretty deep in turn 1. And we hit a little bit coming out of turn 2, but we ended up on top. That's what's important.
Was it clean? Not trying to stir up anything here, but was it a clean attempt?
Yeah, it was. He went in real deep.
Okay, well, congratulations. You pulled it off. Hope to see a lot more of you on Thunder.
Thank you very much.
That's Marc DeBeaumont, ladies and gentlemen. He has won it. It was terrific. We'll be back with a third heat in a moment.
The Soloflex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure. The Soloflex Muscle Machine, just $39 a month. Call now for a free brochure.
Live Friday night, April 15th, it's the Battle of the Masters, Kickboxing Mania 4, and a cast of action-adventure stars.
Yo, this is the real deal.
4 World Championship fights featuring Troy the Destroyer Dorsey.
There'll be no stunts and no stand-in.
Live April 15th, it'll be a star-studded evening.
It's the Battle of the Masters, only on pay-per-view.
Check your local listings for more details.
We are ready for heat race number 3. Here is the lineup. Keith Chrisco in the 21X car. Walt Johnson alongside in 31. The second row, Kerry Foss in 8 WS. And Gary Howard in 15. In the third row, 18-year-old Jason Leffler in 71L. And number 7 is Robert Dolacki. And in row 4, Jim Keane in 22. And J.J. Irksey, a rookie, in number 42. And speaking of Irksey, he was the 1993 USAC TQ Midget champion out here, and he has a ride in this car for these 3 televised races. Hopes to go full-time midget racing next season. And also, don't forget, it was 2 years ago, our last televised race out here, that car number 21, Keith Chrisco, became somewhat of a surprise winner. And he starts from the pole position.
And Chrisco did a magnificent job. He was the biggest surprise we've had at Ventura, and he did a great job that night.
All right, he'll have a chance to shine once again on the Thunder. Heat race number 3, 8 laps. The top 3 will transfer, and Chrisco leads the parade down the backstretch.
Chrisco got into there real good, got a good lead, but right there he got in a little bit too hard, got a little sideways, but still held up to the lead.
Walt Johnson in the blue and yellow and white number 31 rides in second position. Third down the backstretch is Howard in number 15. A tangle over in the fourth corner. A couple of guys get together. They both continue on. That's the 71 of Leffler and the 7 of Dolacki. But Leffler will bring out the yellow as he will stop along the front straightaway.
Yeah, what happens, Gary, is it's kind of rough out there. Those guys get in there. They get in a little too hard, and they catch one of those ruts, straighten out, and then they get all sideways right in front of everybody. So it's a tough racetrack to drive, especially for the young drivers.
2 laps down, 6 laps to go. We'll get the push truck over there to restart 18-year-old Jason Leffler, who is the youngest driver here this evening. Recall when you were 18, Rice?
Yes, and I wasn't driving one of these things yet either. Those days they wouldn't let you do that at that age. But right here we're going to take another look at this. Leffler comes off of the corner, gets a big shot on Dolacki. He got a shot down off that bank, got a good run down the straightaway. And it looks like as he gets into the corner, he just got in there a little hot, whereas a little bit dry, got all sideways right in front of Dolacki. Dolacki just kind of drilled him right in the exhaust header. And they were both very fortunate to keep going, really. Dolacki, I think, kind of legged it a little bit to keep things going, or they would have both stopped.
Jason has restarted at the back of the pack, so once again, 2 laps down. We have a different restart procedure this year. Last year and years past, we had a cone in the backstretch where the race would restart on the backstretch. Now it's up to the leader to bring them off the corner and the start.
Pretty much starts like every other USAC race. The leader has the option to start at any place he wants after they get into turn 3.
And look at Jason come from the back of the pack. He picked up 3 spots in 2 turns. And now he sets up Irksey down the front straightaway. What a drive by this 18-year-old, and there he goes.
Just as you're talking about him, he got real comfortable up there on that very high group and just got a little too comfortable, got in there a little too hard, and ended up upside down.
And as I said earlier, with this rough track and with the ruts, we're likely to see that. In fact, he flipped here last week, so he's getting frequent flyer miles.
Yeah, he did a great move. He felt very comfortable up there. He was in the real heavy, wet mud up there, and he felt real comfortable down in 1 and 2, went right on up into 3 and 4, had another nice move up there. But when he got back to 1 and 2, look at...
Now this is the restart, Larry, and watch this move from the backside. Gets up high, and look at this move around 3 cars in 2 turns.
See, he went right to the top. He got all that straightaway speed off of that very top of the racetrack. He does the same thing down on this end. He gets slowed up with the car in front of him, but he likes that top. But this time he just went in there, a little too much speed, a little too soft a right rear tire. It just tipped up over on him and went on over.
Well, there he is. He is okay. The helmet is still on, and Dave is down there with him. We'll give him a moment to pull that skid lid off, but he took a wild ride. He'll feel it tomorrow when he climbs out of bed.
Well, it's really the soft suspension, the heavy racetrack, all those things contribute, and of course his inexperience didn't help a lot.
Dave?
Wild ride, Jason Leffler. I'll tell you what, 18-year-old enthusiasm, but that thing bit you big. What happened?
I don't know. I just must have got out of gas when I got way up there and, you know, up into the loose or the cushion, and I was going good, and then I went in a little too hard and bit me.
For a lap and a half, you were just eating them up, man. That first lap was brilliant. The restart was great. You were headed for the front. Were you as comfortable as Gary and Larry thought running up there in that thick stuff?
Yep. I swear I used to run my TQ and used to stick real well up there. He didn't bicycle enough, so I just gotta learn to get used to this car. We'll be all right once again.
You sat there on two wheels for a long time. It looked like it might come back down. Did you think you were going to save it?
I thought I was going to save it, and then it hooked pretty hard. I'm all right. I'll be back next week.
I'll bet you will. When you're 18 years old, you always think you can save it. Back to you guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I know a lot of 40-year-olds that still think they can save it. They do the same thing. So he was still in the gas right there. You can see that right rear was still throwing dirt backwards. He didn't really get out of the gas like he
Tell about right now.
Yeah, well, once it went over, he didn't have any choice, but he did the right thing. It just was a little too soft and a little too heavy, and boy, it just didn't, race car just didn't hold up for him to get through that corner. That's
well, as we told you, he got upside down last week. Again this week, that gets expensive.
Yeah, it does. It gets a little bit expensive. The roll cage has been in a little bit. The steering wheel, you see where it's a quick release steering wheel. They took it off, laid it up on the top. The race car's got some damage to it, but it'll be fixed for next week, I'm sure.
Well, so far we've had two cars upside down, an Ellis chassis holding up well for Jason and a Beast chassis holding up well for Stan Fox. And there's a look at Kerry Foss, who is certainly no stranger to USAC competition. I'd tell you, this guy is spectacular on dirt in a midget or a sprint car. He likes the high side. He likes the cushion. We have seen him run the action track in Terre Haute, and he is spectacular.
We've often talked about Leland McSpadden and how exciting he is to watch race. This is another guy in the same mold. Kerry Foss loves to go fast. He loves to go sideways, and he's always heading for the front at any cost. And here tonight, I think this is kind of a new ride for him. I don't think he's driven his car a whole lot. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can get that thing hooked up and head for the front like he usually does.
There's a look at car number 31, Walt Johnson, who had been up in the second position earlier in this heat race. We have 3 laps complete, still 5 laps to go. And once again, our format tonight calling for the 3 drivers from heat races number 2, 3, and 4, and 2 drivers, the first 2 drivers in the semi, and that will comprise our 20-car starting field for the 30-lap feature. So once again, the first 9 that we saw in that heat race are already in. Now, Marc DeBeaumont won the second heat. Kenny Irwin and Wally Pankratz also have transferred from the second heat.
Yeah, those guys
had 3 more this time and 3 from heat race number 4.
Right, then they're going to take 2 out of the semi, and that'll comprise our field. This racetrack, the wind is already beginning to tell just a little bit. Over, coming off of turn number 2, there's a little black spot where it's trying to get dry and slick. Every place else, though, this racetrack still looks plenty heavy and plenty fast.
We had a lot of rain overnight. This racetrack was a quagmire this morning, so Jim Naylor and crew have worked very hard to get it in the condition it's in right now. A good battle for a position at the back of the pack there, going into the corner. Number 22 having a problem, Jim Keene. There's a look at Kerry Foss again in the red number 8.
Foss likes that top. He really runs that top, and Delaki almost stuck under him while he was up there on that cushion. Foss has been a little bit cautious up there on that cushion, but still running plenty fast enough.
Well, Irksey is the young rookie right in front of him now. Oh, 2 cars get together, and Irksey gets upside down. J.J. Irksey takes a ride in his first midget race here in Ventura. Began his racing career in quarter midgets at the age of 5, then ran through go-karts and several seasons of TQ racing before he won the title last year.
Irksey, once again, another one of the young new guys. He got in under that car, Gary Howard's. Let's take a look at it right here. See, Irksey, he gets in there, he gets a little bit sideways. Oh, Howard almost stopped. He got up in the cushion, almost stopped. And once he gets turned down on that left side, the left side is very soft on these cars. He got upside down real easy once he got kind of left-sided on that thing.
I think actually he makes contact with Delaki there on the inside in that black 7 car. Now watch as he gets sideways right here, makes contact with Howard, and now watch him make contact again right there. And that gets his front end up, tucks it over, and he's upside down. So we have a red flag situation right now. JJ, the rookie, is okay. Well, we'll clear the track, line him up, restart him, and go racing when we come back. Stay with us.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. split fire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented split fire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a split fire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed split fire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank.
Okay. Jeff, get us suitcases. I have one.
Yes, sir, right away. Robert, we're out. Get us suitcases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
That was quick. Yeah, they had it right down the street.
The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
Buy a case of Haviland, get a free camera, and a chance for a free trip on Continental Airlines.
If you really want to travel for less, bum a ride to Suzuki's Truly Moving Dealing Days, where you can get a great new Suzuki motorcycle for 0 down or low down with low monthly payments. So get to your Suzuki dealer any way you can.
New times for Sports Center, 6:30 and 11 p.m. starting Monday.
Welcome back to the USAC full-size midget debut of J.J. Irksey, who is the reigning TQ champion. You said you had a first-time experience here. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever been upside down, and in a midget, it's not too pretty. But I kept my eyes open and check out the sun and then the dirt and everything. But I just like to thank Sandy and Betty Lovelace for giving me this opportunity to run their car, and it looked like we were going right to the front. And you know, misfortunes of cars, the track, and cars stopped in front of you. Sometimes things just don't happen the way you want them to, and we'll be back next week.
That's what I wanted to hear. Glad to see you're okay. Let me point out a couple of things to you. First of all, look at that banner back there. Look at that, upside down. That's where all the flips have occurred. Let me show you something else here. Take a walk with me. I want you to come over here and look at how this racetrack is changing. That's what Gary and Larry were talking about. Let's don't go out there on the racetrack. We'll get run over. Point that camera right down there. See how that dirt's starting to turn black on top? The loose stuff up top, the cushion, has been brushed off there, and it's actually starting to polish off. And the big point, I think, is going to be the contrast between the cushion and this part of the racetrack. We may not have seen the last of the upside-down action in this neck of the woods. We're getting ready to go back to action. Gary and Larry.
Boy, if he gets any better at calling track conditions, he'll be up here, Rice.
Hey, man, he's going to have my chair. I don't want him doing that stuff anymore.
He hasn't been upside down long enough to have your chair. All right, once again, we are about to go green the next time by.
Gary Foss is now in third position. We're going to see if he can move his way on up front. He was working pretty hard on Walt Johnson right before that last flip, so we'll see if he can move up any.
Keith Chrisco will lead them down for the restart. Johnson rides in second. DeLackey now battles for that position on the low side. There's that section of track we just talked about.
And Foss got a bad start. Robert DeLackey's the one that got a good start. He came from fourth up to third, and he's battling both of those guys for that second and even first spot. Look at that. Three abreast. Plenty of room down there. That's what we talked about.
Launch through that hole. That big run down there in one.
Oh, yeah.
There's the white flag, Larry. One lap. Chrisco leads it, but we still have a battle as DeLackey looks to the inside.
DeLackey's working very hard. He got down there on that slick part of the racetrack down there and couldn't quite pull up.
Look at Lasso. Lasso's going to take third and transfer. So Chrisco takes it. Johnson takes second. No, DeLackey takes second.
Boy, oh boy. The real loser there was Walt Johnson. He had a problem down there coming off of four. He dropped from third back to fifth and will be out of the feature race.
Well, so we'll have three more transfer, and watch the red car off to the right of your screen. That's Kerry Foss, and watch him take advantage of a miscue right here.
Walt Johnson gets down in there. Looks like something happens. The front end takes off on him. He loses power or something. Foss just moves right down underneath him. Poor old Walt Johnson's left sitting back there just idling down the straightaway.
Ain't over till it's over. You drive to the checkered flag no matter what position you're in. A big thumbs up for Chrisco. He takes the victory here in heat race number 3. We have one more heat race, a 10-lap semi, and a 30-lap main event from Ventura County Fairgrounds.
finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint. So the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast. And cleanup is a snap. So you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
But can they plow the back 40? Introducing the new, more powerful Grand L series from Kubota with our smoothest, quietest tractor engine yet.
It began in the heartland, in towns small and large. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 12,500 convenient locations. More than any other company of any kind in America. Citgo, feel the pride.
Back live in Southern California, where we look at the top 5, we see a change in position. Robert Dolacki has been penalized 1 position for jumping the restart, so he drops to 3rd. Kerry Foss is elevated to 2nd, but still, those 3 will transfer. Keith Chrisco, the winner, and he stands alongside Dave DeSpain.
Former motorcycle racer, my kind of guy, Keith Chrisco, and I met right here in this spot a couple of years ago when he won one of these heat races. You didn't need this rough racetrack tonight. What's up with that?
Oh, last week, coming down the front straightaway, we got together with a couple people and proceeded to tumble it about 6 times.
Does that hurt more than falling off your scooter?
Yeah, it did, actually.
I'd say you couldn't hardly get out of the car for all the bumps and bruises. Tell me what's hurting.
My knees are beat up pretty good, shoulders, ribs.
So you got it through the rough racetrack. You won the thing, got 3 wide with him down there through this big wide section of the racetrack. It's rough, but it ended up in your kind of place tonight.
Well, when I won the TV show here last time, it was just about this rough, so we're hoping for the same success.
You sound pretty pumped up for a guy that's all beat up and hurt.
Well, I usually do better when I'm hurt.
All right, get back out there and get after him in the main event.
Thank you very much.
All right, Keith Chrisco, he's cooking tonight. I couldn't resist. We're at Ventura Fairgrounds Raceway on a Saturday night. It is thunder, and we've got one more heat to go. Stick around. It just gets better.
Americans have always had a love affair with their cars.
Who do you love?
Who do you love?
Yeah, who do you love?
And when it comes to plugs and filters, we guarantee to keep that spark going for a long, long time.
Grab your sunscreen and get ready for a scorching spring, because Honda's Red Hot Deal Days are back at your local Honda dealer, and they're hotter than ever, with great deals on red hot new Hondas, along with demo rides, 0 down financing on many models, free service inspections and appraisals, helmet trade-ins, free Honda hats, and a whole lot more. You better get moving. Honda's Red Hot Deal Days end April 30th. Don't let it pass you by.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Welcome back to Ventura, California. Gary Lee along with Larry Rice and Dave DeSpain. And there is a look at your defending champion. That is Robby Flock for his 3rd Western States Championship. He wears number 1, does not like that number 1. He says, I won all my titles with even numbers. We look at the top 5 in points. Tony Stewart with 10 markers over Paige Jones. Then Jay Drake, Jimmy Sills, and John Kofor round out the top 5. The second 5, Wally Pankratz. There's Robby Flock. Sleepy Trip, the 7-time Western States champion. George Ito and Billy Boat. The top 10 now in the point standings. As we take a look now at the starting lineup for this fourth and final heat race, we look once again out of the CarQuest cage cam, giving some great shots of car number 20, John Sarna. In the front row, Bob Ellis rides number 41. There is Keith Roush in the 1AZ car, Robby Flock in the 1WS, and Jordan Flash Hermansader in number 91. In the third row, John Sarna and Kent Bowser. In the fourth row, Ricky Gray and Ron Hazelton.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting. Ricky Gray is a new father. He had a boy in January, as did Kerry Foss. We forgot to mention it a while ago. So there's congratulations to those guys who are brand new fathers. Here's Ricky Gray right here in that bright orange number 44. The other guy I want to talk about is Kent Bowser, that number 2 car in this race, who is also he's driving for Terry Caves, who's furnishing the pace car. But the interesting thing is that Tommy Estone, one of my own nemesis, is now the chief mechanic on this car, taking care of it. And he is, you know, been a great guy. And back in '72, he almost blew me away.
He finished second to you in 1973 Midget standing. There is the start. We got a pair of number 1s that almost got together. They come off the corner, and look at Roush up on the high side. He takes the second position, being challenged down the inside. They get together. Roush and Robby Flock.
Everybody's getting together. Ellis and Roush got together. You see some smoke there. That looked like smoke from somebody touching wheels with them.
Right now, car number 41, Bob Ellis has a pretty good lead, but the smoke is coming from number 1. That is the 1 Western States car of Robby Flock.
Yeah, he's blowing some oil out on his headers. That's header smoke coming. You see the oil coming out there. When he gets off of the throttle and go in the corner, it blows oil out, gets on the header, and that's the blue smoke. But look at him. It's not slowing him down any. He's working very hard on Bob Ellis.
Makes a move on the inside. He may have the lead coming off. Oh, side by side.
Boy, does that racetrack
low.
That racetrack gets real narrow right there. Ellis tried to cut him off right there. He almost didn't get away with it, though his Flock almost didn't have enough room.
Well, Flock tried the high side coming off the corner. Now dives down low. Now goes back to the high side. And now with this battle for the lead, everybody else is starting to catch up.
That was a nice move by Robby Flock. Ellis tried to block him. Flock went under him, so Ellis moved down. What did Flock do? He was right to the top where he wanted to be anyway. Look at this car number 20. Boy, he's...
Oh, look at that. A change for second position, a change for third. Gray goes to third. Car number 20. John Sarna is up to second. The white flag, 1 lap to go. Now, Keith Roush is in fourth position. Keith is the Rocky Mountain Midget Association champion last year. He's battling Ricky Gray for the third and final transfer spot.
Oh,
and look at this battle. Look at that battle. Look at car number 2.
Bowser came in there. He was going to give them both a big slide job and didn't quite pull it off. Boy, that battle for that last transfer spot was spectacular.
So Robby Flock takes the victory.
John Sarna did a fantastic job running in second position. He went right around that top. Look at this. John Sarna in that 20 car right up around. There's 3 guys underneath him. He goes around him. As a 41 car, Ellis kind of blocks Gray and Roush.
Out there.
Oh, man, oh, man. Sarna got a little bit lucky, but it did a great job, too.
On this type of racetrack, though, that is so characteristic, you're going to see the contact with the drivers running in close because the cars bounce so much.
Well, things are very tight. They're very close. Everybody's very competitive. You're not going to run around this racetrack without hitting each other.
Thumbs up in the Beast chassis. There is your winner, and that is Robby Flock. We'll come back and talk with him as we return to Ventura County Fairgrounds.
Bowflex invites you to compare the Bowflex Power Pro to any other strength training machine. Call Bowflex right now for your free comparison video and find out how you can get the workout you've been looking for as little as $29 per month on approved credit. What you'll see is that Bowflex is superior by design to give you a better workout. Bowflex is faster, easier, and more effective. And Bowflex offers about twice as many exercises than other machines. Bowflex is also more affordable, and it's backed by a lifetime warranty. You can own your Bowflex for as little as $29 per month. Call now for more information. When you call, we'll send you a free comparison video and a free brochure so you can get all the facts. Bowflex, it's simply better, easier, more effective, and more affordable. All you have to do is pick up the phone and let us show you why Bowflex is the right machine for you. Go ahead, make your own comparison, and call Bowflex right now.
My Sports Center highlight goes like this.
I'm young and I'm fighting a guy, everyone says, the greatest fighter ever. And they tell me he's too fast and smart. And I'm too slow and small. And no one's cheering for me. And I win. Yeah, that was my Sports Center highlight.
And we, too, enjoy Sleepy and Page and all the other fine competitors out here in the Western States Midget Series. And let's take a look, Larry, if we can, at the replay of this start. Now, look at this mass confusion coming off the corner.
Well, Ellis and Roush both coming off this corner. Now, this is where I said it gets real narrow. Right there, they bang wheels. You know, Roush heads for the outside, Ellis heads for the inside, but there doesn't look to be enough room in the middle there for Flock to get through. But somehow he kind of snuck in underneath the Roush and went ahead, and everybody kept the cars under control. But that's the place that gets very narrow on this racetrack.
Well, Robby Flock, your defending champion, is down with Dave Despain.
And that was just the start of the excitement for Robby Flock. First of all, what were you thinking when those guys were beating and banging on each other right in front of you on the start?
Well, I seen them get together and, you know, just let it sort out and made sure I kept my nose clean. Must have hit the brakes so hard I blew the brakes out because I didn't have an ounce of pedal. And, you know, when you hit the pedal and there's no brakes, your heart just stops. So I was able to just lean on them Hoosier tires and keep the car on the track and bring home a win.
We saw this little red smoker out there ripping around and wondered if it was a problem. It ended up being, it was brake fluid, eh?
Yeah, I guess we blew a cylinder up or something because there was no brake, and I've never had a brake problem like that before. But I was able to just get it in, stay on the top. A couple times I wanted to go to the bottom. I knew it wasn't there, especially with no brakes, but I just had to hang it out and get back to the top and defend and try to bring it home.
Congratulations, a great run for Robby Flock, and about time, too. He's had more tough luck in 3 races this year. He's got that all behind him, and he's going after a 4th Western States Championship. We're going to bring you some news right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Every time the driving conditions change, the threats to your car's engine change. Threats that can shorten its life. Corrosion, oxidation, acids. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that actually senses changes in the driving environment and adapts its own molecular structure instantly. So, if the temperature changes, so does Quaker State. If the traffic congestion changes, so does Quaker State. If the terrain or altitude changes, so does Quaker State. Quaker State virtually thinks for itself to protect your engine, whatever the conditions, so your engine lasts longer. Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
NASCAR excitement on ESPN. Get ready for fender-banging, bumper-to-bumper action on the world's fastest half-mile track, the Food City 500, tomorrow only on ESPN.
A lot of USAC action to talk about. Back in the Midwest tomorrow, the famed High Bank Winchester Speedway, the Loctite Sprint Cars, and the Copenhagen Skull Midgets in the annual Pepsi-Cola Rich Vogler Classic. A big doubleheader tomorrow there in Winchester. And, of course, next Saturday, we're right back here at Ventura, California for the Copenhagen Skull Western States Midgets. And look at the sign. Admonish those drivers. Drive safely.
I don't think they read that on the way in here tonight, do you?
Oh, and look at the surf in the background. A great crowd on hand. In fact, it's a little breezy, a little chilly here, but these fans love the dirt track racing, and this is a great new racing facility.
Well, I think it's a tribute to Jim Naylor that they come out here to a racetrack like this. Such a fantastic little racetrack. He prepares it so well. Some of the neatest racing we see all year. You know, we love all kinds of racing, but we got to love a guy like Jim Naylor. He's been doing this for 17 years.
Let's try that next week.
I don't think I want to do that.
That's right. You can swim, can't you?
I can swim, yes.
It's too cold for that, though, even with a wetsuit on. All right, once again, we have all kinds of motorsports news. And let's take it back to Dave Despain.
All right, thank you very much, guys, and welcome back to Ventura Fairgrounds Raceway. We moved over to the other side of the racetrack now to bring you up to date on some of the news going on elsewhere around the racing world. You know, a lot of people think this is really the opening weekend for the Indy cars. We're going to tell you how they're running. The stock cars are running down at Bristol this weekend. Let's kick it off there. A wild story here from Bristol. Busch Grand National race. David Green won it over Houston, Jeff Green, Dale Jarrett, and Larry Pearson. So what's the big deal, you say? Mark Martin led that thing. I heard one report that he led every lap except the last lap because he mistook the white flag for the checker and pulled off the track and went to victory lane a lap early and was very surprised to find out that he had finished 9th rather than first. Now that he'll get a second chance tomorrow, of course, because the Winston Cup cars will be going at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 a.m. on the West Coast. You'll see it live here from the 33-degree high banks at Bristol. Paul Tracy on the pole out at Phoenix International Raceway on the 1 mile oval. It is a track record at 176, and no big surprise there. Jacques Villeneuve, a very impressive outside front row. Nige is there in the second row with Mario Andretti and Raul Boesel. And the Reynard chassis has not been performing as well as Michael Andretti had been hoping. He has struggled and ended up 12th behind Fittipaldi, Gordon Fabbi, Al Jr., Scott Goodyear. So it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. And guess what? You see it all right here on ESPN. A monster day of motorsports on ESPN tomorrow. That will start at 5 o'clock Eastern time. So that'll kind of get you up to date on what's happening around the racing world. Got a few thoughts on what's happening here in terms of opening night when we come back. We've got the semifinal action next up. Just a lot of stuff here to come at beautiful Ventura by the Sea. Come on back for more of the Thunder.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
My feet are so sweaty and smelly. My wife calls me swamp foot.
Odor Eater's foot powder can dry up 25 times more wetness than talc.
Wow. No more swamp foot.
Odor Eater's foot powder dries up 25 times more wetness than talc. Sure. Unsure. Sure. Unsure. Sure. Unsure.
When dryness really counts, be sure to be dry. Sure Solid has the most effective wetness-fighting ingredient you can buy. For dryness no one can beat. So you're either sure or unsure. Sure. Unsure. Be sure to be dry.
We're back at Ventura where the Thunderheads have gathered for Saturday Night Thunder. And wow, what spectacular racing we have seen thus far. The semifinal preparing to crank up to fill the last 2 starting spots in our 20-man main event here for this evening. And while they're getting into position, we're going to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about our all-star heat race winner, Paige Jones. A lot of observation and speculation about where the young stars of the future are headed. A lot of them are talking about stock car racing. Earlier today, Gary Lee sat down with Paige Jones, and we took a piece of that interview to let you know what Paige has in mind for his future endeavors.
So far this season, you've won twice. With 18 victories overall, you're 3rd on the all-time Western States win list. But surely you can't make a career out of midget racing.
Don't call me Shirley.
Now, I know you tried ARCA stock cars. You crash virtually every time out. What else are you going to try?
Well, there's broadcasting. I've seen you do it. I can do a better job than you.
Surely you jest.
You're not going to call me Shirley again.
I bet I do. Now, I can drive a race car better than you can broadcast a race. Surely you won't try broadcasting? Oh! Jesus, hey, it's another Jones. It's Grace Jones. It's my turn.
Jones picking on Gary Lee. All I can say is that Jim Rome, our ESPN2 colleague on Talk 2, ought to be real glad that Jim Everett doesn't have a brother. Gary, are you okay? All right, I'm glad. You're still smiling, no black eyes, no bruises. That'll teach you. Shirley Jones, Partridge family, Parnelli Jones, Parnelli's family. Well, a great moment in motorsports. In any case, we're getting set for that semifinal. If it's as rough as that episode, Lee, I don't know if you'll be able to call it. We got those guys ready to fire up out there?
I knocked some of my teeth out. Larry, can you go ahead?
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, once again, we'll take the top two, and that will help to comprise our 20-car starting field. So let's take a look now at the starting lineup. We have had some scratches, but we understand that Pete Chula will be on the pole in car number 27 alongside Kent Bowser in car number 2. Now, we should have had Jordan Hermansader in this race. He has been scratched in the white number 91. Stan Fox is scratched in the white number 9. Gary Howard is scratched in the white or the black number 15. So now Hermansader has changed rides. I'm totally confused, Larry. You have the latest information there. Hermansader is now in the
He's going to
9 car.
start last place, Gary. They put him back in. He is going to start in last place.
But he's taken over Fox's car. He's taken over the performance racing entry that we saw get upside down in that earlier heat race. So Hermansader has taken over the white 9 car. And we understand that Stanley Fox's back was hurting, so he's given the young Jordan Hermansader the ride.
Well, his car didn't go over real hard, but the way it went over, it landed real hard on the nose. And that sometimes gives you a big jolt. And I think Stanley also thinks that maybe with the Indy cars coming up, he doesn't want to take any chances on hurting his back any worse than maybe he already did hurt.
All right, here's the starting lineup as we have it. Once again, Pete Chula in 27, Kent Bowser in number 2 will occupy the front row. In the second row, Keith Roush on the inside in the red number 1 and Jack Runyon, the red number 7. In the third row, Walt Johnson and Dwayne Markham. In row 4, Ron Hazelton, car number 6, Bob Ellis in 41. And then Ross Murray, Jim Keane in 55 and 22 in row 5. And there is Jordan in the Steve Lewis Performance Racing Beast Gertie number 9.
That's Kent Bowser on the back straightaway. He just stopped as he's going down the back straightaway. I don't know whether they're trying to restart him or put him in the pits. No, it looks like he's heading for the pits. And Tommy Astone was real nervous about his engine. It's the first time he's really rebuilt this engine in this race car, and I know he was. We were kind of kidding him about it down there. I hope it wasn't the engine that went away on that race car.
You talk about Astone being your nemesis back in the early 70s. In 1973, when you won the national midget title, it came down to a 3-way shootout. The last race of the season with Tommy Astone.
That's right, and Bobby Olivero. Whoever won the last race or did the best in the last race actually was going to win the championship.
In fact, Astone finished second in the national points in 73 and 74. An excellent midget shoe.
He was an excellent race car driver. He hasn't been back to the racetrack for 4 years. It's hard to quit, come back, you know, do everything that you have to do at a racetrack. So he stayed away for 4 years. He and Terry Caves got together. Terry said, come on, help me out. I need some help with my race car. So it's kind of got him involved again. I'm glad to see him back on the racetrack.
Starting outside the front row in the red number 7. Well, actually, he's scheduled to start outside the second row, but the red number 7 is Jack Runyon. He was runner-up in the National Rookie of the Year point standings last year behind Chuck Leary, and he's going to be one of the midnight flyers. He is taking the red-eye flight back to Winchester because he's going to run his dad's other midget in the Copenhagen Skull Midget feature as part of that doubleheader tomorrow at Winchester.
He, Kenny Irwin, along with Tony Stewart, all three will be making that tour back east so that they can run in the Winchester race tomorrow down at the high banks.
If you're back there in the Midwest and Indiana, Ohio, go over there and check it out because that's an excellent racetrack. We'll be there twice this season to broadcast some of the USAC competition. If you have a chance to watch these guys in person, that is some racetrack. And really, we can't even do that track justice on television. You have to see Winchester in person.
That's right. As the Mustang pace car pulls off, the Terry Caves Ford pulls off the racetrack, it looks like we're going to get a start this time around, Gary.
Pete Chula will set the pace as he brings them off the fourth corner. This will be the last chance for these guys to advance to the feature, and only 2 will do so. Runyon rides in second. Roush is in third.
Boy, we almost had some contact up there. And at turn number 1, as Ellis got way high, bumped into a black car. Couldn't tell who it was, but it's way up near the fence.
Well, Dwayne Markham has moved up to second as he bounces through that rut in the first corner. Remember, only the first 2 will transfer to the main event. Now, Roush is back in 4th position.
Yeah, Runyon moved back into second place for the second time. Pete Chula's going to pull away to a 3 or 4 car length lead. But look at that top group. Man, oh man. 6 car, Ron Hazelton up there way on the top.
Now we ride with Flash Hermansader. Jordan Flash Hermansader taking to the stand Fox ride, giving us some great shots there. There's a look at the white 9 down the inside, and he's screaming one. Oh, you know what that is?
That's his tear-off.
That's not his tear-off. I think that's not a streamer from getting married. I think that's the crash off the 4th corner. I was going to say that is the tear-off from our camera lens, I do believe.
Yeah, it looked like Chula was leading the race, got all sideways right in front of the whole pack. Everybody missed him, though, but he ended up against the fence, stopped. He didn't hit real hard, but it's a tough break for him because he was leading this thing pretty handily.
Yeah, so that car will go back on the trailer. And yeah, I think what we're seeing off that white 9 car is, in fact, that little plastic film that is the tear-off that we use across the front of the lens on the camera.
Well, the drivers use very much the same thing. It's just a little motorized film that goes in front of it to keep it clean so the camera works well. Here we can maybe see what exactly happened. This is Runyon right here in second place. He already sees the problem. Look at Chula. He's clear up on the infield, head straight for the outside fence. He did a good job just to get that thing turned around and not run head on into that fence. He just got way sideways. You can see right here, climbs way up on that inside bank, got into real slick, loose, dry dirt down there, and man, oh man, the wrong way he was going. Look at this.
Look at this streamer.
It does look like a wedding, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the roll-off off the camera. I wonder if ESPN will get black flagged. Look, he's trying to grab it. Jim Key's trying to grab it. He says, hey, I got a chance to be on television. I know what this is shooting.
Hey, he actually tore about half of it off. He did a pretty good job there.
Well, Herman said he needs to slow down. We can catch up there. That's why these cars need a riding mechanic get together and rip it off.
Yeah, look at that. He got most of it out of the way, so he doesn't, you know, it would be kind of distracting, and that's probably the reason he wanted it off of there.
All right, Dwayne Markham takes second position on the restart, but on the high side, here comes Keith Roush. Roush, the defending Rocky Mountain Midget Association champion, being sponsored by Race Pro Collector Cards this season. I think he's up to second position.
I believe that's the only Scat B4 in this race, too. You know, there aren't very many of those Scats around yet, although Tom Lee's been working on it pretty hard. That's the only one here tonight, and it looks to be running pretty doggone good. Roush likes that outside. He's doing a nice job keeping the race car straight through the bumps and still running pretty fast.
Half the race down. There's the battle for the lead. A new leader. Keith Roush takes the lead. But he gets on the high side. Here comes Runyon down low.
See, the real trick to running the cushion right now, it's pretty heavy, it's pretty rough. Uh-oh, we see Marc. He's smoking, he's slowed up. He's got some engine trouble. Oh, the wheel came off. As the wheel came off of the 27 car, Pete Chula down there. You see it bouncing across the track.
Don't sing it, Rice. Don't you dare.
Oh, we got another car upside down.
41. Bob Ellis.
That's the 41 car, Bob Ellis.
He looks like he may, but now he's coming around. Yeah, he was touched slightly there on that impact, but now he's starting to move in the cockpit. So 2 drivers now, one losing a wheel and one getting upside down. So the red flag is out.
He got up pretty doggone hard.
6 laps now complete, 4 laps to go. First, the wheel comes off the 27 car.
It's the left rear. It just came off the car. He just slides around and stops. Look, he's still on the gas, but he doesn't know what's wrong. He just knew he spun out. He didn't know what. Now you can see the wheel going by him up at the top. And as the yellow flag comes out for this, well, let's see what happens.
Coming off the 4th corner and down this front straightaway.
Now this is after the yellow. The yellow flag is already out. Look, the leader gets out of the throttle.
And he wasn't watching, so number 41 takes the wild ride. That's Bob Ellis. Ellis actually got over the wheel. So the leader slows up. The one running second didn't.
That's exactly what happened. The leader saw the yellow flag. He just didn't see it in time. And as he tried to get out of the throttle, look, he tries to avoid him, but he's got too much speed, climbs that right rear with his left front. And boy, when you do that on a racetrack like this, you're in for a ride. And that's exactly what happens. Look at that. He turns over 2 or 3 times in the air before that catch fence stops him and throws him back down.
And it was the cage that actually made contact with the catch fence. And you can see how well that cage held up. But the medical crew is down there right now working with Bob Ellis.
Yeah, Bob Ellis, you know, that's a mistake that happens a lot of times when you're racing very, very close with the guy in front of you. There he's climbing out. It looks like he's okay. He's got his helmet off. He's climbing out. That's his brother Dave right there with him.
The white sweatshirt trying to help him out, but he's okay. But I'll tell you what, he's trying to clear the cobwebs out right now.
Oh yeah, that was a tough flip. I mean, you hit that hard. You flip over that many times, and then you hit that cement like he did. That tough. It was a sudden stop, believe me.
So once again, the roll cage holds up. The driver a little shaken, but Bob Ellis is okay, and we'll line him up and resume the semi.
People ask me to endorse the strangest things. A green recliner? Not much of a sitter. I like going fast. 68 Shelby, and there was only about 300 and some odd made. This car rips. Pure oil now. Keeping them up's half the fun. They all get Purelator filters. Pure oil later. I snag them from the track. Legends live on Purelator. Purelator.
My Sports Center highlight goes like this. He hits a monster slap shot, but I catch it behind my back, Frisbee style. And everyone's so stunned, I start skating. My coach is yelling, go. Bob leaves giving me directions, but I'm the amazing skating goalie. And I score the winning goal. Wow. Which gets me a dance with Ty Babylonia. Yeah, that's my Sports Center highlight.
Hey, we've seen some big hits here tonight with four guys upside down. You want to see hits? You watch indoor lacrosse tonight at midnight. Detroit Turbos and Buffalo Bandits. This is first round playoff action as they try to dethrone the league champion. Detroit trying to dethrone the Buffalo Bandits, who won the title last year. Lingner Group brings you Saturday Night Thunder and then brings you lacrosse, demonstrating that they are very versatile players in the television game. Good news is four guys upside down. They're all okay. We're a little concerned there about Bob Ellis. It looked for a moment like he might have blacked out, but then he started shaking the cobwebs out, and he's going to be fine. So we're happy to report that even though it's been a bit of a rough and tumble night here on this newly redesigned and banked racetrack, we've had some great action, and everybody is okay thus far. Now, we'll get the word on what the restart situation is here on this semi for you. And I think right now we're going to go back topside to the booth.
Once again, I think we probably anticipated this type of a racetrack this evening, Larry. As we said, it rained this morning. It was a quagmire early. The crew worked on it all day long, but then the winds picked up, the sun came out, the track dried out, and this is exactly what we had anticipated, a very rough racetrack.
Well, the racetrack is a little bit rough, but it's the same for everybody. If you notice how Keith Rouse was running around that top, he was running very straight onto the cushion. That really makes it much easier to run. Here we see how they're running in the feature, or in the semi-feature. Keith Rouse, Jack Runyon, Walt John, Ron Hazelton, and Jordan Hermansader, his fifth. He still has a chance to make this race, but he's going to have to pick up a couple spots.
All right, 4 laps to go, and only 2 will transfer. Keith Rouse driving a car out of Arizona. He is out of Colorado. He is the Rocky Mountain Midget Association champion, and he will be down here in California to run our 3 televised races.
I want to take this chance, Gary, while they're restarting these cars for this semi-feature race, to say hello to Craig Bradburn, Mike Marshall, Cliff Jacobs. All these guys had racing accidents last winter. All of them were kind of laid up in the hospital and at home. And we just want to let you know that we here on our broadcast are thinking of you and wishing you well, and all the race fans around the country are doing the same.
Well, you know, this is Saturday Night Thunder, right? Or is it Thursday Night Thunder? Well, Thursday night begins on June 23rd, right there. 8 events from Indianapolis Raceway Park and Winchester Speedway, but we're going to confuse you by being out here, you know, out here on Saturday nights because we have to share the time with the hockey playoffs. So we're on Saturdays from Ventura, and then we'll be back on Thursday evenings beginning June 23rd with those events from Indianapolis Raceway Park and the High Bank Winchester Speedway.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. You know, we have fun out here. We always say, geez, you can't get better racing than you have at Ventura. But, boy, in the past couple of years, we've had some mighty, mighty fine racing back there in the Midwest on the pavement, too.
understand we have a broken lens from the camera, but that car's been upside down. Stan Fox was in the cockpit, and the car back on the track, but Jordan Hermansader in the cockpit, and Stanley is a spectator.
I talked to Bob East a little earlier, you know, we asked him about putting this on there, and he says, you know, it's a little tough. We're having trouble with this car right now when you go ahead and put cameras and stuff on there. He says, we probably shouldn't, but we like to have the cameras. We like to help you guys out, so we got to thank him for letting us put that on.
They got some extra coverage this evening, didn't they?
That's right.
All right, to start at lap 7, only 2 will transfer. Number 1, Keith Roush. Number 7, Jack Runyon, the Jack's tool rental car. And look at this battle for the second position. Hermansader is on the fly. He is up to 4th. A new second-place driver, car number 31.
And there he's up to 3rd. That's Jack Runyon, that 7 car. Hit that bump on the bottom, got way slowed up. So Hermansader just has to gain 1 more spot. They won't have to call over.
He's running out of time, though, Larry. Only about a lap and a half to go, and only 2 will transfer.
Yeah, he's going to have to hurry up. Walt Johnson running 2nd. Roush at 1st, but he's catching him.
Yellow flag, car on its side over here. Another car takes a tumble, and that is Jack Runyon. Runyon will have plenty of time to check the red eye this evening because he's flying back to Indiana to Winchester, rolled that car over, so obviously he will have no chance to transfer to the 30-lap main event.
Yeah, he ended up on his side. He almost did that the lap before. As we watched him, he got in there real hot and real low, caught that bump, got all sideways up in the air, had to slow way down and get the car all gathered up and get going again.
Ross Murray is the other car in number 55. Now, this yellow, if we go back to green, this yellow could be an advantage for Hermansader because that closes the gap with a couple of laps to go.
Yeah, it could be a real advantage for him because he's got a chance then. We're going to have to see what happens.
No, they're going to checker flag it. The checkered flag comes out, so that will do it. And it will be Roush and Johnson to transfer. Roush and Johnson. Keith in the 1A car and Johnson in the 31 car. So that will conclude our semi, and we're going to come back here and get everything set up. We'll have some more comments from Dave Despain, some more news from the world of motorsports, and of course our 30-lap main event from Thunder in Ventura, California.
Are you frustrated trying to save money on your long-distance phone bill?
Everybody's got these different plans at different hours and different times and what have you, and I mean, none of us have time for that. Go on and give us savings, just give it to us.
You've got it. Introducing AT&T True USA Savings. Spend $25 a month and get 20% off your AT&T long-distance calls to anyone, anytime, anywhere in the USA. No gimmicks, no hassle, no calling circles. Just 20% off guaranteed.
I'm going to switch back to AT&T. I want to go back. Call us at 1-800-PIC-ATT. The call is free, switching is free, and you get 20% off the AT&T calls you make in the USA. Call now and we'll even reward you for saving.
With AT&T True Rewards, you can also get points good for free AT&T minutes or free frequent flyer miles on Delta, United, or US Air.
I love that. That's great.
There's never been a better time to switch to AT&T.
Just one call can get you savings plus rewards. Call us now at 1-800-PIC-ATT.
I ended up going back to AT&T, and I've been very satisfied.
Your true voice.
New times for Sports Center, 6:30 and 11 p.m. starting Monday.
Got those USAC cars coming right back here next week, Saturday Night Thunder. Check your local listings on this one because of hockey playoffs. We're going to be moving around a little bit, but the following weekend, we will be here at 12:30 a.m. in the East, 9:30 p.m. prime time out on the West Coast. And, of course, this is just kicking off a spectacular season for us. We're going to be moving to Thursday, but check this out. ESPN2. We got Thunder, right? ESPN2 will have the Lightning beginning on Saturday night. Go-karts and motorcycles from Major Taylor Velodrome in Indianapolis, Indiana, where they race everything with wheels, everything that will move, where the Thunderheads gather throughout the year and have nothing on these guys in terms of enthusiasm. Let me tell you this, whatever happens the rest of this season, tonight, opening night, is most definitely special. Opening night is part of the rite of spring. It's like the president throwing out the first ball of the season. It's like watching the Masters on television, anticipating the Kentucky Derby, or heck, just plowing the garden. Spring, for the motorsports fan, and the rite of spring is that first trip, opening night at the local racetrack. And for us, it is the same with the opening night of Thunder. Spring is when the sap begins to rise, like the rising RPM of the engine. Spring is when that cold dark of winter gives way to those perfect, cool Saturday evenings, perfect, in fact, for carburation. Maybe it's the fact that absence makes the heart grow fonder. It seems to me that during those long winter months, our senses actually grow sharper. Opening night smells different, doesn't it? Wintertime smells like chili cooking or a fire in the fireplace, and that's not bad, but it's certainly no match for racing fuel and hot rubber and gear lube. And opening night, I think, tastes different. Winter tastes like cold coffee, especially if you're a racer trying to stay awake on all those long nights of working on the car. But then we come to opening night, and all those racers come here with the anticipation, at least the hope, of a taste of champagne. And for we fans over on this side of the racetrack, nothing hits the spot quite like that first track dog of the new season. And ultimately, I think opening night feels different, doesn't it? Doesn't your heart begin to pound a little faster the first time you hear your favorite local track announcer cranking them up for the start of a new year? Doesn't the hair stand up on the back of your neck when the green flag falls on the first heat of a brand new season? Here at Thunder, this is our 9th opening night on ESPN. It smells and tastes and feels to me like our best year ever. And I'll tell you, we are very, very glad to be back. Now, during this off season, one thing happened that we want to make sure you know about because it was rather special to those of us here. The 1993 Hall of Fame inductees were named, and they are Doug Carruthers and Mel Hanson, whose records speak for themselves. 98 USAC National Midget wins for Carruthers as an owner. For Mel Hanson, check that turkey record, Turkey Night record, along with his 6 Indy 500 starts. And also inducted to the Hall of Fame, Perry Grimm, the 49 Pacific Coast champ and 2-time Turkey Night champ. And looky here, our very own Larry Rice, inducted to the Hall of Fame, the 73 USAC Midget champ. There it is. There's the plaque. Rice, it is official. You are an old
Look at these.
guy.
That's why he had to stop driving. He's wearing these reading glasses. We're proud of you, Larry.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. The guys who really deserve to be in the Hall of Fame are the guys that help you through your career, and I'm sure every driver will tell you that. The Hickmans, the Shannons, the Bob Morrisons, the Gene Wilmans. It's a great honor. I appreciate it, but it's all the people that help you all those years.
And your optometrist also that helped you see the checkered flag. Larry, my congratulations.
All right, let's get the official results on that semi that was checkered early as we conclude our congratulations to Rice. Keith Roush, Walt Johnson going to the main. Herman Sater, Keene, and Hazelton didn't make her tonight. 30 laps remain. It is main event time, and this cat's going to miss it. You made a mistake, buddy.
Here comes a whole new taste breakthrough. It's got less fat and better taste for you. It's not a trip off the same old block. That's right. Got new Pringles Right Crisps. That's right. Less fat and better taste than this. That's right. Better taste than less. Grease the proofs right here you see. That's right. It's not a chip off the same old block. Pringles Right Crisps. The taste pops here.
Every time the driving conditions change, the threats to your car's engine change. Threats that can shorten its life. Corrosion, oxidation, acids. That's why today's Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that actually senses changes in the driving environment and adapts its own molecular structure instantly. So, if the temperature changes, so does Quaker State. If the traffic congestion changes, so does Quaker State. If the terrain or altitude changes, so does Quaker State. Quaker State virtually thinks for itself to protect your engine, whatever the conditions, so your engine lasts longer. Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Welcome back to the USAC Western States Midget Series from Ventura County Fairgrounds. Gary Lee, Larry Rice, and Dave Despain. They're going to roll them out for our feature. 30 laps, 20 cars. And this should be a dandy. Once again, the first 9 starting from the way they finished that first all-star heat race. And look at the cloud cover. It has been a beautiful day out here in Southern California.
It sure has been nice. There isn't a more beautiful setting for a racetrack in the whole world, I don't believe, than Ventura, California. You look one way, you see the beautiful mountains and the beautiful homes up there. You look the other way and you see the ocean. Just can't get any nicer than this.
And Jim Naylor is a great host, does a great job with this facility. He was a former USAC Promoter of the Year. He's been out here for 17 years and has something new to offer every year when we come out.
And I love his enthusiasm. Every promoter in the world ought to be as enthusiastic. He's done this for 17 years. He loves it just as much today as he did then. You know, a lot of promoters are like that, though. I think of Earl Baldus, who's there. He is right there.
He's the track announcer as well as race operations, interviewing Stan Fox right now.
Yes, he is, and he does a little bit of everything. He runs the grader. He does the announcing. He's one of the old
signs.
That's right. He does everything.
And look at here, Ron Sleepy Tripp. He has won 97 Western States Midget features. He's a 7-time Western States champion, a 2-time national champion. And as we look at Sleepy, we have to thank his wife, Erin, because she's our statistician up here in the booth and feeds us all kinds of great information year after year.
Yeah, he's...
Oh, look at this. Dial 1-800-GO Racing. Career starts, a total of 800 starts with Sleepy, Robby, and Wally.
I don't know who did those statistics, but they had more time than they had anything else.
John Sifferlin did that. He's doing some stat work for us back in the remote truck as we see some of the cars coming out for the feature right now. We had a shot of the 71 car of Paige Jones.
Yeah, Sleepy Tripp, of course, has won 4 races at Ascot. Jimmy Sills has won 4 races right here over the last 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see if either one of those 2 guys can become the first 5-time winner.
Well, here's your starting lineup in row number 1. They're 1 and 2 in the Western States points. Paige Jones is second. He was starting the pole in 71. Tony Stewart leads the points. He starts outside. The second row, the 7-time champion Sleepy Tripp and Jay Drake, who won just a couple of years ago here on television. Billy Boat out of Arizona and George Ito in row 3. In the 4th row, on the inside, Rick Hendricks. Outside, John Kofer. In row 5 for a feature. On the inside, there's a look at Jimmy Sills in number 4 and Robert Delackey starting his 100th Western States feature in number 7. In the 6th row, starting side by side, Ricky Gray in number 44 and 48-year-old Wally Pancratz, the elder statesman here this evening. In number 3, there's John Sarna in number 20 and Kenny Irwin in the 4K car. Then it's Robbie Flock in number 1, Kerry Foss in number 8. Keith Roush, another number 1, alongside Walt Johnson in number 31, and Marc DeBeaumont in number 11, Keith Chrisco in 21. And tonight, if Marc can win this, he picks up $1,000 from the Wins Challenge. He is the candidate. If he can win it, an extra $1,000.
The Wins Challenge is on again this year. They're going to add to that $1,000. If Marc doesn't win it tonight, next week it'll be $2,000, and it will grow. As you remember, Kenny Irwin won $8,000 at Raceway Park due to the Wins Challenge last year.
Once again, on the pole will be Paige Jones. He has won twice already this season. And starting outside Tony Stewart in the 36 car, Tony has won once. Paige won 1 week ago here at Ventura. Tony won at Oildale up in Bakersfield. And there is Paige, and Paige also won at Hanford.
That's right, Paige. He's got that Ford engine in that thing, and I'll tell you what, it's been working well for him. He thinks that Robert Yates heads is just quite the thing. Another guy that's in this race with a little NASCAR flavor is the DuPont car that Jimmy Sills is driving, that number 4 car right there. Look at that paint job. It's DuPont all the way. I think even Jeff Gordon would be a little jealous of that paint
who
job.
Reminds you, I gotta say, reminds you of Jeff Gordon, because Jeff actually drove for Dave Calderwood a few years ago.
Nice shades he had on there. You know, he's got his own driving school he's going to have in Marysville, California this year with both midgets and sprint cars, a little with wings, without wings. So it's going to be a little bit of everything. He's going to try it. He's very excited about it.
Can you imagine taking a school with Jimmy Sills as the professor?
Well, I can, but I suppose there's a lot of people who couldn't.
All right, it's going to be a long way for Robbie Flock as he's starting near the back of the pack. He is your defending Western States champion. There is the green flag, 30 laps, and a great start for Paige Jones. Oh, but Paige, just as I say it's a great start, gets upside down. He is tagged by Dulaki in the 7 car, and a whole mess of cars down here in the first turn. So just as I say it was a great start, he tumbles. There is Pankratz in the 3 car. There's the number 1 car of
that's Robby Flock in the 1 car.
There's Johnson, the 31 car, and there is Sarma in the number 20 car. So there's the mess down there. And then if you kind of pan off to your left, you're going, well, here's the replay. There's the good start, but again, he gets up high.
Again, he was in the throttle. He did everything right. It's just the fact that this racetrack is so heavy that once you get in there, oh, that right there is the one that could have hurt. When Dulaki hit him right there, luckily he didn't hit him very hard. He got slowed down. But he just got in there real hard. He was in the throttle, but the car just picked up that left side. And boy, oh boy, it's tough.
That's the same place his teammate Jason Leffler got upside down there in the first corner. So we're waiting now to see that everything is okay with Page.
And we're going to see it from an in-car camera. We see the start of the race. We're riding with Robby Flock. And you're seeing everybody getting a little bumping together there. That's Kenny Irwin bumping wheels up there in front of him. Everybody trying to sort themselves out, getting down into turn 1. But as they head down in there, you can see way up there in front, he's getting upside down. Everybody behind him trying to avoid him. Everybody getting sideways, trying to get out of the way. Just no place for poor old Robby Flock to go. Bang, right into the side of Wally Pankratz.
Well, we can tell you that Paige Jones is out of the car. He is okay. There's a look at Robert Dulaki. He is still in his car waiting for a restart if possible. But there is the number 71 Ellis Chassis and Dave Despade. Once again, you've had a lot of chances to talk with drivers that have seen the sky and the ground this evening.
And before I talk to this driver, the 5th one to get upside down tonight, I want to tell you what he was doing. I don't think you saw it because of the replay. He jumped out of that race car, immediately ran right down the racetrack and started taking the bent and broken pieces off Robert Dulaki's car, the car that hit him, so that Dulaki could get out there in the race. I thought that was a pretty sporting gesture, young man. Paige Jones, are you okay?
I'm fine. You know, it's too bad for American Racing Bosch car. You know, we were running good tonight in the heat race, and you know, we're hoping to go on the main event and continue the good luck, but, you know, sometimes it's not your night. But Robert, you know, he ran into me, you know, my fault, because I was upside down. And Nerf bar was bent on it, so I just ripped it off so he can continue on.
How did it start? What were you trying to accomplish and what went wrong?
Well, I mean, the start was all right. I just, I knew we wanted to run the top down here, so I knew I had to get a jump on Tony. I did, and got in the corner, and the ruts were just a little bit bigger than I thought. And just buried the right rear in one and, you know, just took off from there.
You can still come out of this with 20 wins before your, you know, 22nd birthday, right? That'd be all right. We'll see you next week, I reckon.
We'll be here.
All right, Paige Jones, sporting gesture. We'll take a quick check. I think everybody's okay. I want to double check that. We'll get right back to you.
Yeah, indeed. I think everybody appears to be okay. We've lost, I think, 2, possibly 3 cars from that. We see Rick Hendrick's car down in the infield, the number 12 car, and Wally Pankratz, number 3 car, is being pushed through the infield.
They have a Nerf bar on that 3 car that's all bent up. They've either got to get over there and take it off or repair it somehow because it's bent. Here we see Flock. They're up there working on that car right now, trying to get it fixed.
Let's go back to the infield, Dave.
Wally Pankratz watched the replay of one of those earlier flips over with us on the monitor and said, man, just watching that stuff on television makes my neck hurt. Now here you are out early. Yeah. How'd you get out of this thing?
You know, I was trying to miss Page, and the car in front of me spun, and I hit him. And then the guys behind me had nowhere to go, and it broke my headers, and so we're out. You know, it's just, you know, one of those deals on a short track with big old holes in it, you know?
You know what this guy who's been racing for a living for, well, never mind how many years, is really worried about, though? What happened?
What, you mean my daughter?
No, you lost your glove.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, this glove, I mean, I'm off the deal at Simpson now, so, you know, I mean, I need to buy them.
The guy come out of the race car. He says, I can't believe I lost my glove. I'm glad you're okay.
We're fine. We'll be back next week, and, you know, hopefully the race will go a little smoother now.
Now, am I right that you own this race car, too, so you got to pay to fix it?
Oh, you just reminded me of that. I thought we were buddies.
I'm sorry, Wally. We'll see you next week.
Okay, maybe. Do you want some sponsorship here?
We'll make a deal. We'll loan you the bucks.
Good, okay.
Wally Pankratz, I lost my glove. I tore out my race car. I've been doing this too long.
For the first time in his 22-year career, Wally is a car owner, and he said he never realized how difficult and how expensive that proposition could be.
Yeah, well, he's going to find out real fast right now, let me tell you.
Out of the race, once again, Hendricks, Pankratz, and Jones. As we look at Robby Flock, as they're working on the side of the car, they worked over the front, and he will restart. Now, once again, Page said, I know I had to run the high side, but I didn't realize how deep the ruts were. The track has changed significantly since his heat race.
That's exactly what happened. The racetrack, they were the very first heat race, so there's been 4 races run since they were out there. He didn't realize that the ruts were quite that big up there. He didn't think the cushion was quite that heavy. I'm not sure whether he really caught a rut or he just went into that very muddy, deep cushion up there, and he had too much speed. He was in the gas. He did everything right, but he just had so much speed, the left side of that car just slowly lifted, and once it reached a certain point, there was no bringing it back down.
Well, there is Billy Boat in the number 15 car as we take a look. And don't forget about Speed Week, April 17th, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Bob Jenkins and all the great motorsports information that he has for you every week on Speed Week. Now, there's an interesting shot of the front of the Jeep as we are pushing off Robby Flock. I believe that's Robby.
Right. It's a no fear sticker even on his exhaust pipe. They never miss a lick, do they?
Well, in fact, we were talking to Steve Lewis earlier, and he said, I have to see how you're mounting that camera on my 9 car so I can see where to put the sponsor decals. These guys are very cognizant of how important is it to get those sponsors mentioned.
You know, it's pretty interesting talking to Steve Lewis. He said, you know, they used to call me 1-2 Louis. He said, now then they're calling me last place Louis because I haven't been doing so well. He said, it doesn't take long to go from first to last in this business.
There's a look once again at Robby Flock, your defending Western States champion, and he'll take us for, I'm sure, a great ride. He was one of the drivers that had to qualify through his heat race, and all these great in-car shots being provided by CarQuest Auto Parts. For your nearest CarQuest Auto Parts store, dial 1-800-492-HEART. And once again, we certainly appreciate their support throughout this new 1994 racing season. Great shots like this.
Yes, they do furnish great shots. And those in-car cameras give you a whole new perspective as to what's going on that racetrack, especially when it's a little bit rough like this, when there's so many things happening out there. You can watch the guys in front of you bumping wheels and all the things that are happening.
You know, to get a better idea of what it's like, if we could show the in-car camera, have all you folks at home put on some long underwear and a racing helmet where it's good and hot, maybe put some dirt in your mouth, and then you get an idea of what it's like to actually be out there. All right, once again, we will have a complete restart for this 30-lap main event. After Paige Jones got the great start, hit the rut up there on the high side, the banking of turn 1, got upside down, then got tagged by Robert Dolacki. And Dolacki was able to continue. So starting on the pole this time, how about that? Well, there's a look at Giorgito, the strawberry farmer, and he said today, he said, I got your strawberries, you want them now or later. I mean, this guy brings out cases of strawberries every year for us.
Hey, the Strawberry King, he brings them every year. He does a great job. And he's such a great guy, a good race car driver. You know, sometimes with all the stars out here, look at this, somebody else out here loves them too.
Well, look who's going to start inside the front row after Paige Jones had his miscue Sleepy trip. Now, Sleepy has never won on television here in Ventura, and he told us earlier, make no big deal about this.
You're not supposed to say that. I was going to say.
Well, he said not to make a big deal out of it. He just wants to go out and race. In fact, it was raining this morning in Costa Mesa. His daughter, Shay, said, Mom, I'm not going. It's going to rain this race out. I'm staying with my girlfriend. So she's back in Costa Mesa watching her dad start from the inside front row. And here is a look from inside car number 1 of your defending Western States champion. Robby Flock has won 3 Western States championships. In fact, this will be the 12th year for this division. Tommy White won 1 back in 1984, and the other 7 were won by Sleepy Trip. Here we go. Trip brings him off the corner. The green flag flies, and look at that. The kid from Indiana gets the jump. Tony Stewart in the Larry Brown car, and here we ride with the number 1 car for just a moment, but back up in front. The first lap in the book, and it is Tony Stewart.
When he pulled after a pretty good lead right there, everybody's been a little more cautious after they saw it.
That's along the front straightaway.
Uh-oh.
Can't see what, that's number 1, that's Keith Roush. Keith Roush in the 1AZ car. That's the driver from Colorado. And he slid to a start after getting tagged by somebody. 1 lap is now complete.
Kerry Foss was involved in that. He's in the infield down there in the 8 car. You can see right there that the suspension is broken on that car. The thing's dragging the bottom. They're trying to lift it up, push it in the infield. Here we got a great replay right here. We're going to look. That's Roush down on the inside trying to get under Kenny Irwin. Can't quite do it. He comes out, just makes a little bit of contact with Kerry Foss, but enough to put him up in the fence. Foss broke something as well. Boy, he's lucky he didn't get upside down because he was on 2 wheels on both sides. and kept her under control.
He was looking at the sky, but watch from this view now, from Robby Flock's car, off the second corner. We head down the backstretch. That's Johnson up in front of him in the 31 car. Now watch as we go into the third turn. Look how bumpy it is. Watch these cars jump around. And look at him sawing that steering wheel to maintain control. Watch up in front of him. There's the underbody of the car, and oh, he just did save it. Actually, I think maybe he was just a passenger at that point. Boy, I'm not sure he actually saved that, just hanging on.
I think he was, but Flock did a good job just to miss all that action up there, I'll tell you, because they were everywhere. They were 2 cars sideways in front of him.
Notice the duct tape across the front of the roll cage to keep the dirt from coming in on his visor.
Yeah, I think some of that's for that. I think also some of it's a little bit for the sun. Yes, try to keep the sun.
Yeah,
glare
because
off.
this is an earlier race than these guys are used to out here, starting 5:30 Pacific time. So we do have somewhat of the glare as the sun starts to go down. The yellow flag remains out. We'll see the furled flag this time by, so one more lap to go before we turn them loose. We have one good lap, 29 laps to go. Now, Tony Stewart lived for a while in Rushville, moves to Indianapolis, and he got a great start. Dave, back to you in the pit area.
Well, bad news is both those guys are going to be out of the race. Good news is they're okay. They're out checking over the race cars. Keith Roush looking very unhappy as we get set for this restart.
Tony Stewart, who leads the Western States Series and will be out here on the West Coast for these 3 televised races, gets a good restart. Rip rides in second. Jay Drake, who won on television 2 years ago, uses the high group and starts to battle for second position.
Yeah, Jay Drake's doing a real nice job. He's running a little bit higher than Sleepy is, where it's a little rougher. Sleepy's chosen to run kind of down off the cushion just a little bit, where it's a little bit smoother. It's going to be real tricky for Jay Drake to get that thing around Sleepy as rough as it is up top.
Watch the steering wheel in this shot right here. Watch Robby Flock sawing the steering wheel. 2, 3 cars together, 2 cars upside down. And there is a look of a car upside down once again with the camera. And that is Robby Flock is upside down. Sills, no, that's Kenny Irwin in the other 4 car. And number 57 is Kofer. So Kofer's hanging upside down in his car. Here's a good shot of Kofer.
Boy.
Blood rushing to his head.
Another case of just the race cars being so soft, the racetrack being a little bit too rough. They're trying to get Kofer turned over here. He's sitting in there telling him to get that thing turned right side up. Pancratz, look at Pancratz. He's out there working feverishly on that car of Robby Flock's.
And Sills has pulled off the racetrack. There's a look at Jimmy Sills. He gets into Kofer. Kofer rolls on over. He gets tagged by Irwin. Irwin gets tagged by the number 1 car of Robby Flock. Flock rolls on over, and it looks like the evening may be finished for Jimmy Sills. Sills, the DuPont car, pulls to the infield.
Poor old John Kofer is really getting picked on by that team of cars of Dave Calderwood's. Right there you see Sills. He slides up, he catches his right rear on John Kofer's left front. Kofer gets upside down, and the team car of Kenny Irwin comes along and gives him a body slam right in the bottom. So
and here comes Robby Flock. And there goes Robby Flock. And that's what it looks like to roll one over.
And that truly was a Tommy tip.
That could hurt just a little bit, though, when that roll cage hits the ground and the neck kind of stretches out.
Yeah, that little bit, I guess.
Dave, you had all kinds of action to cover this evening. Who are you standing with, Dave?
Yeah, I've got Kenny Irwin down here in all the confusion. We were watching our ESPN camera technicians help try to fix this car. Kenny Irwin, I hate to even ask you this. Top of the show, we use the tease with Kenny Irwin that says, yeah, what's the big deal about dirt? It's a cush. It's all real easy. Those thoughts running through your mind after what happened here?
Well, there wasn't quite as much room as what they showed, but, you know, the wind's Gertie Beast is running real good tonight. You know, actually, I thought we had a good chance. The car was hooked up really good, but we'll be back next week, and hopefully we'll end up a little better.
How's this racetrack different from what it was last year?
It's got a lot more bank to it. Actually, it's a lot racier track to race on than what it has been in the past. But you know, I think we'll do real good.
So we're going to see you here for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, I hope so. Hopefully better than this too.
Okay, man. Thanks for that. Can we just stay with us a second? Let me walk over here and say hey to Robby Flock. What a bad way. This is 3 out of 4. 3 nights out of 4. This guy has ended up with a bent-up race car. You got to be bummed out by that.
Oh, yeah, it happens. Just ready to take that number 1 off and put that number 24 back on, because carrying a number 1, it's like a target out there. So.
Now, you've done that before. How'd this one get started? Were you just the victim this time?
A couple cars got together. I tried to go low, and I was sliding up and just couldn't clear them, and it barely rolled me over, but it just hurt the car, and it was 2 stops. So I'd just like to thank everybody for watching, say hi to all my friends in New Zealand and Belleville, Kansas.
You're a 3-time champion of this division. I wonder when you get a string like this going where nothing will ever come your way. How do you deal with that mentally? How do you get it turned around in your head?
It's a tough deal. It comes and goes. We ran 6 seconds in a row at the end of the year last year, and now we're just paying our dues. It happens. We're at the wrong place, wrong time. It'll go our way. We got a strong car, a good team, great people behind us, so we just got to pay our dues, and we'll be back on track.
And that attitude is the reason he's the 3-time champion, Robby Flock. We'll take a quick break and come back with 10 cars still running for the feature event.
The Honda V4 Magna. Nothing's meaner. And right now, nothing's hotter during Honda's red-hot deal days at your participating Honda dealer. But hurry, it ends April 30th.
They hate to be late. Traffic makes them mad. And waiting makes them furious. Sound familiar? Then drive through McDonald's for breakfast. It's fresh, hot, delicious, and served at top speed, so you can get back in the race.
Mess with me.
Top 5 on the restart. 2 of 30 laps now complete. The green flag falls as we come back to Ventura Speedway. And once again, the kid from Indianapolis, Tony Stewart. But there is a battle for second. Stewart leads. Sleepy Trip rides in second. Third is Jay Drake. Well, another yellow. We have a yellow problem now. Once again, it is Kofer. Kofer involved again in the blue 57 car. He got upside down earlier. They rolled him back over and pushed him off. And there is Keith Chrisco in the 21 car. So we'll see if these two can continue. We only had 10 cars on that restart. We lost 10 cars, Larry Rice, in 2 laps.
Yes, and John Kofer was one of the guys who got upside down and did get restarted. And again, he got caught up in a spin down there, and they ran into each other. So I think the guy who keeps his nose clean, runs a nice, fast, clean race, might end up winning this thing. But I tell you, those guys up front, Jay Drake's working real hard on Sleepy Trip from 3rd spot. He wants that 2nd spot real bad. I think Tony Stewart right now is worrying about staying straight and fast, and Sleepy would like to just stay close to Stewart up to about 5 laps to go.
I was going to say, is that the strategy at this point, as rough as this track is and all the altercations, for perhaps Sleepy to be in the best position to stay right where he is and run until late in the race?
Well, I think you're going to see the guys who have the most experience do that right now. They're not going to take any unnecessary chances because they see what's happened. They're going to try to stay straight and just take their chances.
Well, we'll sort things out, line them up, and restart them after we come back.
So when I turn the key, it sounds like my starter is going bad. And so I figured since I heard about AutoZone, it was a good place to try as any, right? But get this. I go in there to buy a starter. The guy tells me we need to test my old one first just to make sure that's not the problem. It turns out that it's a solenoid switch. That one little test saved me a big headache. You know, that AutoZone's all right. And when you get service like that, I mean, you don't forget it.
This Speed World presentation of Saturday Night Thunder has been brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life. And by Honda Motorcycles. Come in for red-hot deal days through April 30th. Honda, come ride with us.
Well, Larry Rice Television can bring out the worst or the best, and we've seen a little of both this evening. We're about to go green. Only 9 cars to contest this feature. 28 laps to go. Tony Stewart out in front. Sleepy Trip rides in second, but he's being pressured on the high side, and a car spins. 2 cars spin coming off the second corner. Villacchi spins around the infield, continues on, and there is Billy Boat in the black 15, so the yellow remains out.
But you can see that Billy Boat's got 2 wheels. Both of them are going in not the same direction.
Okay,
so they're going
cross him out. We're down to 8 cars, Rice.
Yeah, they made contact. He's made contact with somebody, and it's put him out of the race. I think you're going to find that the guys who do the best job. Uh-oh, John Sarna just pulled off over there too. So now we're going to be down to 7 cars. Guys have to use a little bit of patience. If they don't, we're going to have a pretty thin field when this is all over.
We're down to a 7-car trophy dash for 28 laps. Let's take a look again at what happened.
Okay, we see him heading into the corner right here. Delackey comes up. It's just got real tight right there. George Ito was on the outside. Delackey got together with Billy Boat. Billy Boat it broke the radius rod on his car, so that's all there is to it.
Not a very hard hit for the damage done, though.
No, see, he bumps into Ito, actually, and then Delackey runs into him from the other side. It was just a case of 3 cars trying to go to the same spot like we talked. It gets pretty tight sometimes out there.
We will see the furl flag this time by. There's a look at the damage to the front of Billy Boat's car, the driver from the Phoenix area. They're doing some fast racing in Phoenix this weekend with those Indy cars.
Yes, they sure are. I'll tell you what, the big surprise there was Villeneuve.
Dave, do we have a full moon out tonight?
You like this? Got a little team photo here. You guys getting up a card game? What's going on over here, Sells?
Oh, yeah, there's more drivers in the pits or in the infield here than there is on the racetrack now.
Who's going to win it?
Well, Tony looks pretty strong.
Last guy running wins it. Let's go green.
Yeah. We may not go 30 laps here if we keep dropping drivers like this. Battle is still good and hot for second position down the backstretch. And look at this move on the inside. Look at Jay Drake. He makes contact. Oh, what a shot he put on Sleepy. Drops back a number of car lengths, but retains 3rd position. And that time, Delackey almost got upside down when he hit that run.
Delackey caught that hole down there. That black number 7 car, Robert Delackey, caught that hole. He almost got upside down. Like you said, I think a little patience is going to be the best thing that you can use right here. Try to use the racetrack where it's not so rough. Just hang in there till right near the end. Jay Drake doesn't seem to want to hang in, though. He wants to go to the front.
Well, he's got to get around Sleepy because look at the gap that's developing between 1st and 2nd. I mean, that 36 car of Tony Stewart is on a rail right now. Oh, contact again in that battle for 2nd. But right now, as this battle continues, it's almost like in stock car racing. As the battle continues, the guy up front pulls away.
Yeah, Sleepy got a little bit sideways right there. He hit that hole a little bit too sideways. Almost got himself in a little trouble. Allowed Jay Drake to pull right up behind him. Look at Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart with a half straightaway lead. And look at this battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
That's George Ito in that 2nd black car that got way high down there. The 73 car right there. Oops, he got high again.
Look at number 11. Look at number 11. He is our wins challenge guy. If he can win this thing, he can take home an extra $1,000. That is Marc DeBeaumont, and he started the very last row, and right now he is up to what, 5th position?
Right. I don't think anybody gave him much of a chance, but he has pulled up, and he is running pretty fast right now.
This is the 10th lap, about to be completed. And now that gap has really stabilized between 1st and 2nd. Watching Delackey there, and DeBeaumont coming off the 4th corner down the straightaway into turn number 1.
Oh, looks sleepy. Got a little bit of trouble. Look at George Ito.
George Ito on the inside coming off 4, and he may take 3rd position from Jay Drake.
Jay Drake on the outside. Sleepy's getting real sideways, entering number 1. He's getting there a little crossways. Everybody's trying to get on the brakes to miss him. Oh, there goes Jay Drake right underneath him.
So Drake takes 2nd. Ito now goes to work on Tripp. As Tripp takes the low side, and he's going to take that position back.
Oh, man. Ito got into the back of Jay Drake right there. Oh, we got a couple more cars together.
Lockheed's doing a little bumper tag there, and he goes on by for a position. Back to that battle for 3rd, Jay Drake and George Ito. Jay in the black number 5, Ito the black 73 down the backstretch. That's the battle for 3rd.
Ito's trying to run around the top. He's trying to get up on that cushion as Jay Drake has moved down to the middle of the racetrack a little more where Sleepy and Tony Stewart are running. Right here, though, that's where Jay Drake seems to be off of turn number 2. Really getting a good shot off of that.
Complete half the race. This time by 15 laps down, 15 laps to go. Still a great battle for 2nd position. And George Ito, back there in the 4th spot, has a great view of what's going on right in front of him.
Yeah, he sure does. Sleepy seems to be getting through. Oh, just as I started to say, he seems to be getting through 3 and 4 pretty good. He got a little bit sideways. But down here in 1 and 2, he gets in high and then he tries to come off low. Look at Jay Drake up around the top. He gets a run, but Sleepy just seems to be able to run just fast enough to keep him back there.
Yeah, but there's George Ito, makes a move on the low side, trying to overhaul Drake for 3rd. And way out in front right now is the 36 car of Tony Stewart. This could be a big weekend for him because he flies back to Indiana on the red-eye to race the doubleheader at Winchester Speedway tomorrow.
Boy, what a battle this is. Jay Drake really gets a shot. Look at him, big cushion shot up here. Oh, he just can't quite pull it off. He had to get out of the throttle because Sleepy was coming up the racetrack.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jay Drake, a youngster, going against some of the most experience on the West Coast in Sleepy Trip, and he's making it work. Oh, he gets very close to the wall. He almost got the ball. That allows Ito to make a move to the low side. George Ito now up to third, and Ito sets sail for Trip. And look at that, 5 cars right together.
Yeah, there's going to be no drafting in this 5-car battle, but boy, these guys don't care. They're really after each other hard. Look at Ito, right under Trip, really working him hard.
The fans on their feet, enjoying this battle for second. Ito may have him off the corner down the backstretch.
Oh, they banged wheels. They came off there. They got together. Sleepy held him off, though. And look at DeLucky in that black number 7 car. He's working on Jay Drake back there right behind him. What a battle.
3 cars right together for second place. Sleepy Trip in the red 67, the black 73 of George Ito, the black number 5 of Jay Drake.
Trouble is, they all want to run exactly the same spot. Sleepy Trip's got the groove. He's in front. Nobody can find quite the right spot. If they go up there where it's real rough, they stand the chance of losing a lot of ground. That's what happened to Jay Drake. That's the reason he's running in 4th instead of 3rd. He tried to go real high. He lost the position when he did it.
Well, Tony Stewart about to pick up his second Western States feature victory of the season. He will open up an even wider stance with 5 laps to go. He now leads the points. He'll have a bigger margin after this one. He will not be contesting.
Look at Ito. Oh, Trippy didn't give him much room on the outside, and when he did, he got into Ito. That gives Jay Drake another chance to get around him.
Down to 6 car. Another car came to the infield without brakes and hit some of the cars parked in the infield. Not to say that Tony Stewart is not going to contest the seasonal championship, and he'll have a big lead coming out of here this evening.
Tony Stewart looks nice and smooth. He's really running pretty good. He isn't gaining a whole lot on these guys right now. I think if these guys ever broke away, they might be able, oh, look at this, look at this. Oh, they banged wheels. Oh, what
was Keith Chrisco earlier that pulled off the track to the infield, so we only have 6 cars. In the waning laps, the white flag will come out this time by for your leader.
Look at Trippy.
Look at this. They almost get together again. White flag, 1 lap to go. What a shootout we're going to have for second place.
George Ito gave him a big body slam to go back by him. He's going to try to do the same, but looks like Ito's going to pull it off and get that second position.
Boy, and look at Ito close. Look at Ito close as Stewart takes the checkered flag. Ito goes second. 3rd was Sleepy, and 4th was Jay Drake. 5th, Robert DeLucky. Oh, Dave, what do you think of that?
I thought it was terrific. What an opening night. Great job, Tony Stewart. Terrific pass, George Ito. Sleepy Trip will win one on TV before we are done here. Jay Drake and Robert DeLucky. We don't have time to talk to this kid, but you can bet we'll talk to him next week. We're going straight to Chris Myers for baseball tonight. Sports Center coming up immediately after that. And at midnight tonight, Eastern Time, we'll wrap up a great week of action here with Major Indoor Lacrosse. Congratulations, Tony Stewart. Opening night is history. We'll come back next Saturday night for more.